So the mission speaks. Yeah. Uh, yeah. Okay. Okay. Yeah. One more time for the mind. Yeah. We can talk about a few different subjects today. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. 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 We holding it down. Yeah. Another episode of Mission Speaks coming live to you today. Doing it again. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Yeah. Okay. We'll get that energy up, man. Then we're gonna go live, talk to y'all, man. I'm partner with my camera. Yeah, we're gonna get this party started. Yeah. Shout out to y'all for joining me tonight. Got a plethora of notes to go through tonight, man. Shout out to my little cousin for the beats, man. We holding it down, man. I ain't gonna be with y'all long, man. I ain't gonna run y'all long, man. It's just, we giving shouts out, props to some of the people. Best believe I appreciate y'all for showing up, man. Make sure all my shit running tonight. Bob your head. Turn that beat up a little bit for y'all. Get them 16 ready, man. We taking verses. I am joining y'all tonight, y'all host, Adrian Grimaldi. I'm called Mission, MISSION. We joining y'all once again for another episode of Mission Speaks. We live on YouTube. Shout out to my TikTok people, man, for joining me, man. I love y'all. Shout out to y'all, all the people joining me, man. Yeah. Yeah. Get them 16 ready, ladies. If you can spit them bars, I definitely got a studio. You can come in. Shout out to the homies out there in America. We definitely love you, man. Thank you for joining, man. Thank you for having the heart. I ain't gonna hold y'all long, man. That's what it comes and show some respect, man. It's been a while since I've been on. Yeah. Welcome to an episode of Mission Speaks. I got the Kofia on today. Wisdom, honor, respect in the name of Allah, the most beneficent, the most merciful. I come with a message of peace. One reason I wear the Kofia, Muslim, man of peace, is I don't come with anger in my heart, hate in my heart, brothers and sisters. I come just to show love and respect, man, and report the news. You know, that's all I'm doing. I do really appreciate y'all. Thank you definitely for joining. For those that are joining, we got a lot to go over. I got some history to spit tonight. I did a lot of research today. A lot of the subjects on the migrant crisis, ICE, some of the treaties that were put up due to the 14th Amendment. A lot of the treaties that were broken. The 14th Amendment was ratified multiple different times. This is part of the subject. I'm gonna get into that a little bit later. I want to give a prayer to Brother Morgan Freeman. Brother Morgan Freeman is having memory issues, also having chronic pain, suffering from insomnia. So we want to send out a big prayer, a big shout out to our brother. Morgan Freeman, I always say this, he one of them brothers from back in the day. I think they smoked on the airplanes back in the day, brothers and sisters. So, you know, when you smoked on the airplanes, I think they aged a lot of the brothers faster. I'm not gonna say how old I am, but I'm there, and I still feel like I look pretty good. Um, Morgan Freeman was old when I was a little boy. You remember the movie Glory? I don't know if some of y'all cats out there remember the movie Glory. And Denzel, I think he was pretty young then. Morgan is 88, they said. Shout out to Clarksdale, Mississippi, where he's from. He's 88. And I know in Glory, Morgan looked like he was at least about 55, 60. Yeah. OG was there, man. So we want to give a big shout out to Brother Morgan for looking old and holding it down his whole life. Brother Morgan, definitely. We love you, brother. One of actually my favorite actor, top 3 at least, is Morgan Freeman. All the way from the he played in a movie. He was the principal. Lean on Me. Lean on Me was a very good movie. I actually have that movie. Shout out to all the actors of Lean on Me. I said before, I have studied acting. I'm actually a student of acting, and I have a big love for just who you become as an actor. It does change your life, and you do discover a lot of things about yourself. In that movement to take on roles and become who you need to become. So big love for the actors out there and the actresses. That was a 5th grade students planned a murder and even wrote a suicide note. And all 4 of them were arrested. And 3 showed remorse, but one, I guess the girl that got her heart broke, she didn't show remorse. I want to take a moment and think about that, brothers and sisters, because, you know, when you like 11, 12, I think maybe 5th grade, 11, 10, 11, man, ain't nobody planning no murders at 11 years old. Those were Caucasian children. I want to make sure I'm clear because people always bring up things about black people and how we act and black people are just such a violent people. Man, get the hell out of here. I ain't gonna lie, man. I might have a pocket knife or something in 5th grade, you know, but that pocket knife wasn't for violence. It was just like a man thing. You bring a pocket knife to work, you feel like you're more of a man because you got a pocket knife to school. You feel like you're more of a man. You got the pocket knife, stuff like that, man. You know, you didn't show people, you didn't threaten people. You didn't tell people you're gonna kill them or nothing like that, man. You know, you just, you know, it's a man thing. You know what I'm saying? So they locked up 3 of them, I think, and they're being charged. All 4 being charged, but 3, I don't know, man. I think probation should be given to them. For the girl that didn't show remorse, I don't know, brothers and sisters. I think extreme measures should be taken on that, man. I ain't gonna take up too much time. A jury awarded $310 million to a family. We had a 14-year-old brother that fell from a drop tower ride at Icon Park in Orlando. This happened in March 2022. His name was Tyrese Sampson. There were no seat belts used on that ride, only harnesses. And it was alleged that one of the harnesses that had been tampered with. So we want to send out a big prayer to that family. Even though $310 million is a lot of money, there is not amount of money. There's no amount of money that can give a person comfort from losing a life or a loved one. So we want to send out big prayers to that family. Make sure that when we talk to the man tonight before we go to sleep, we give out a big shout out and a big prayer to Tyrese Sampson. Pimping ain't easy, brothers and sisters. I want to make sure I tell people, because I hear a lot of cats, especially young cats. I know some cats my age always say they pimping. That's a very dangerous thing to say now. Simply because, I mean, now looking at the situation of Brother Puff, you can be actually charged with sex trafficking, and may end up turning it into a RICO. So we want to make sure we tell brothers, if you're thinking about getting out here in the pimp game, man, don't do that, brother, because you're taking advantage of women. Also, the charges could be very detrimental, man. It could be 10, 20 years. Brother got 35 years, man. And it was a short investigation. That investigation was actually under a year. Second degree promoting prostitution, first degree unlawful possession of a weapon, and he had another possession of a weapon in the first degree. So that brother got that's three hard charges that man got. 35 years. Most likely, man, he gonna serve out pretty much most of that. I don't know how old that brother is. Cedric Dorsey the second. I don't know how old he is, man. But brother gonna do some time, so that ain't good. So we definitely got to calm down on the pimping, brothers and sisters. We can't, the things that happened back in the past. Even flying out girls, I'm sure there's a lot of cats. I mean, I've flown women in to see me. I'm a regular guy, but I mean, I've definitely done it before. So that's even making me think about some of the things I do. Even like driving a female to see you, man. I mean, you just don't know no more, man. I don't even really know how to take that. That's deep. That's really making me reconsider how I do things. And I'm not saying I'm a big shot. I'm just a regular nigga, like I said. But for the regular cats out there, man, be very careful, because shit, man. What if she get mad at you, or what if she call the police, or what if she say something, or what if somebody she knows say something? You just don't know these days, man. So be very careful about how we move. There's actually no reason for one of us to end up in prison just for bringing a girl to us, flying a girl to see us, even putting her on the bus could be detrimental. So we want to be careful out there, brothers and sisters. Did y'all see that shit Jim Jones said? I want to, y'all see that? He said his mama taught him how to kiss. Brothers and sisters, what the going on? I'm from Tennessee. Shout out to West Tennessee. It's a certain way we live. I raised my sisters. Shout out to my older brother. He ain't with us no more. Man, we raised my sisters together. So, like, the treatment from men to women, it's very serious, very strict. I'm a very militant guy. That runs in my family, both sides. Nigga, I ain't never kissed my mama in the mouth at all. If I did, I was a little old bitty boy. I can't remember, man. My mama wouldn't teach me no shit like that. I don't know if Jim was drunk or high. I don't know what that nigga was smoking. If that situation happened in his home, I want to make sure I'm clear, because I know some people will get on live and talk a bunch of shit. Look here, man, keep that shit to yourself, bro. If any of that went down to your house, man, keep that shit to yourself. He a New York cat. Everybody from up north got family down south. I don't know where his family derived from down here, but I'm gonna make sure I'm clear as a Tennessee African inside of America. We don't do that shit down here, man. I don't know what y'all got going on in the NY, man, or Philly, or wherever that Negro from. I want to send a big shout out to brother Professor Griff. I did not know that he got with Soleil. Genuine's ex-wife, Genuine, admitted that he cheated. OG ain't playing around. He scooped up a baddie. I'm gonna say this. That's wait. Um, brother Professor Griff is in there in age. I'm thinking he at least 55 to 60. I don't know how old Soleil is. But she's still pretty young. Shout out to Professor Griff scooping up the baddie at an older age. Uh, that's a very, very, very good deal for him, man. I like to see a brother doing this thing. I ain't no hater. Also, shout out to brother Byron Allen. Brother Byron Allen is a billionaire. He's in the media industry, and he's been a billionaire for a while. Brother Byron came from absolute nothing. I think his mother was an actor. She moved to California with him when they were very, very, very young. I think brother Byron are like 60, something like that. He won a $100 million lawsuit against McDonald's for discrimination. And a $10 billion lawsuit also in discrimination. The $100 million was a separate lawsuit. Make sure I clear that up. That's a hell of a flex. I don't know what the ins and outs were or how he was discriminated against, or whether it was him or maybe it was an associate of his. But yeah, he definitely laid the smackdown on that. I seen a clip today of the oldest man in the world. This brother resides in India, 200 plus years old. I ain't gonna lie, I ain't even think a nigga could live that long. I'm gonna make sure I say this, brothers and sisters. I don't want to live that long. I'm just man, brother was humped over like a damn sponge. You know how an old piece of bread, you leave an old piece of bread out in the sun and how it curls up. Yeah, brother was humped over like that, man. You have to help that cat get around. Man, I don't want to live that long, man. If I live that long, somebody please shoot me. Nah, man. I don't want to do that. Sister Shatiri Young, owner of a daycare, shot her husband for sexually assaulting children at their facility, and she's been moved to a halfway house and after serving her 4-year sentence. I'm surprised she got that many years. Situations like that, brothers and sisters, that we should be fighting to get that sister out. She shouldn't even did 4 years. America, I'm gonna say this: America makes a lot of money off the justice system. Even in major cities, a prisoner could be 150 to 60,000 a year just for being incarcerated. That's a lot of money. I know here in Tennessee, an inmate is probably around 50,000 a year. Yeah, so locking you up is a business. Also, a lot of prisons are owned by private companies, and it's private equities inside that company, and it actually saves when it comes to the budget of different businesses. Think what you make in prison, 35 cents a day, something like that. Think about 35 cents a day versus paying somebody $14, $15 an hour. I mean, it's a major flex. So keeping people in prison is business. You got probably 2 million males locked up, black males locked up. I don't know how many black women, but it's at least 800,000 white men locked up, probably around 700,000 Mexicans locked up in America. So that's a lot. Let's say, free Dr. Malachi Z. York, free Larry Hoover, free all our political prisoners. We have a few brothers locked up. They raised the money on Asada Shakur. They want her bad, even though she said she didn't pull the trigger. She had damage to her hand actually at the time where she couldn't pull the trigger. Definitely praying for our sister to stay safe in Cuba. I oppose what our government is for, and I'm for what our government opposes. It's just who I am. I can't help it. I'm a rebellious motherfucker. This is how I roll, man. We've been through a lot in this country as black people. I tell people when I go live, no disrespect. I speak primarily to African people or black people or what they call foundational black Americans now. Um, I feel like it's every black person's job to speak out and fight for what's best for us, in my eye, as a whole people. Anything negative being done to us in America, it's been done to us all over the globe. White supremacy is a global phenomenon, and it's very negative. Living in Tennessee, my experience is different. So I can't speak for what a person may go through in Detroit, but I'm speaking for what I've seen and been through in Tennessee. And personally speaking, I've never had a problem with a white person ever in my life. But politically speaking, when you think about what we've been through as a people, white supremacy is not something that started by black people. So, in my eye, for what I've gained by reading, it's something that we shouldn't have to actually dissolve. If we want to really live in a free society, and if Caucasian people say that they don't believe in racism, then that white supremacy, it should be dissolved by them. White people should be fighting on a daily basis to kill white supremacy. And if you're not going to fight on a daily basis to kill white supremacy, then you should definitely quit lying to black people, telling us that it doesn't exist. It most definitely does. So that's their job, to kill that negative phenomenon. But we have a migrant crisis, brothers and sisters. ICE is kicking down doors. Here in Tennessee, they have raided factories. They've actually even raided some farms. Uh, when we talk about the 14th Amendment, birthright citizenship, I feel if you're a citizen of America and you came here and you went through all the measures and proceedings that you should go through to be a citizen, we are more than glad to have you if you're going to benefit the economy. There have been refugees, I mean, immigrants or what have you, that have come to America that have benefited the economy. Shout out to them, shout out to the families. But if you're in America illegally, I stand on business by saying that that's wrong. And the fight that black people have put in to build America, for far as railroad tracks, establishing the West, I don't think we get the credit we deserve. Even in the Supreme Court of 1895, they countered the decision of the 14th Amendment, going against birthright citizenship for corporate greed. According to Dr. Howard Zinn, the Supreme Court accepted the argument that corporations were persons. So, which is actually crazy. To say that a corporation is a person is crazy. It takes people to build a corporation, but the corporation, in essence, is not a person. They stated that the 14th Amendment was corporations, meaning it wasn't for black people, it was for corporations. So it was ratified due to the railroads and the need to exploit black labor. That's spoken by Dr. Claude Anderson. Dr. Claude Anderson stated that many of the railroad companies purchased slaves as property and business equipment. So when we look at birthright citizenship and what we've been through in America, you see that the 14th Amendment was ratified multiple different times throughout history. I can't go into a lot of it because we have cases like Elk versus Wilkins, Wong Kim Art, 1898. He actually flipped the 14th Amendment, allowing those who called immigrants to either illegally or not legally become citizens of America in the jurisdiction thereof. It's very, very deep. I have a lot of research. Like I said, I can't go into this. Man, it's just a lot. Once you do a lot of research and you realize how that amendment has been played with multiple times through history, it's just a lot. And that kind of brings to my attention how a lot of immigrants can feel the way that they feel, because a lot of immigrants study American history and they study our law system as well. So, be that as it may, they come over here and they get that education. And if you look at the justice system now, a lot of our representatives, they're foreigners. Even when you speak about reparations, a lot of the Hispanic people that are in the high seat, they're against reparations. A lot of brothers that come from Jamaica or Brazil or Africa, they are not for reparations like a brother that would be from the foundation of America who is black. So I I talk to African brothers and sisters and I tell them, don't come to America if you're gonna be an enemy to the black people that are here. If you're gonna come to America and side with white supremacy, stay in Africa. Don't come here and be an enemy because we may have to run your ass back across there. And we would definitely get on your ass in a minute over here. One thing I can say about Americans as a whole conglomerate of people, black, white, whatever color, we are a rebellious people by nature. From from the time that America was established, let's say 1492, when we claimed our independence in 1776, we weren't recognized as a independent country until 1783. Um, and you have to remember, we had the War of 1812, where English said, we ain't gonna do that. We're gonna come back and take what we believe is ours. America actually still owes England to this day. The Bank of London actually owns America. If you do your history and research, America owes money to a lot of different countries. Even Fort Knox, we drained Fort Knox and paid that money to France. We owe $400 million in gold bullion to the Moorish Empire. The Moorish Empire no longer exists, but that debt is still actually owed. It's documented that that debt is owed. So, moving right along, according to Dr. Zen, justices of the Supreme Court were not only simply interpreters of the Constitution, they were men of certain backgrounds and interests. Justice Miller said in 1875, it is vain to contend with judges who have been at the bar advocates for 40 years. Railroad companies and all the forms of its associated capital felt it was a threat to have black men working on the railroads and felt that black men would have more rights than foreigners. This is when the Chinese were coming to America. The Chinese, a lot of them were coming to America claiming that they had right as free men to work on the railroads, even over the black people who were descendants of freedmen, and some of them who were already originally here. They felt they had more rights than us. So I want to make sure I say that, brothers and sisters. We have never had friends as black people. I listen to some of the rhetoric in a lot of spaces. That rhetoric is not new. I want to make sure I'm clear. That rhetoric isn't new. That rhetoric that you hear, I know I hear it. That's generationally passed down. People teach their kids to say these negative things about black people. I'm gonna make sure I say it. A lot of people speak negatively with connotations and epithets against black people because they are trying to join in white society. I remember seeing a movie back in the day where the Indians had signed a treaty to give land to the Caucasian colonial settlers. And they were teaching the Indians English. And the Indians didn't want to learn English. And I remember how hostile it got in that movie, to the point where the Indians were made to cut their ponytails. The ponytails were a symbol of lineage and history. And I remember seeing some of them actually being forced to get their ponytails cut off in order to assimilate into European society and colonialism in America. So when I see the rhetoric and I hear the rhetoric and different things being said about black people are women, I don't like to see that or hear that. When I hear that rhetoric, that's a trope used to assimilate into American culture. And in order to be a part of American culture, you almost have to hate black people. Feel me? Even if you don't really feel it, you will give out that energy. You will be that example so people would accept you. Even I hear a lot of people say Mexicans don't like us, and I have a Mexican neighbor, and we don't socialize amongst one another. I've never been invited to his house, and because I've never been invited to his house, he's a little younger than I am. I haven't invited him to my house. Naturally, black people, we don't bow down. Being the fact that we've already been burden bearers for European colonizers, that's not in us to bow down. I'm a very friendly person, but I'm not friendly to the point where I humiliate my manhood. I'm a guy that will maintain masculinity at all times. I'm not going to be emasculated by anybody. I don't roll like that. But I just wanted to give an example of history, and it's a lot of cases that people could look up. Munn versus Illinois, Munn versus Illinois. Also, Wabash versus Illinois. You had the Native American Act of 1918 or 1920, I think. It might be 1918. So also Elk versus Wilkins, 1884. So these are acts that you can look up. It speaks on birthright citizenship. A lot of the Indians were attempting to become citizens in court, but they belong to the sovereignty of the Indian nation. So you couldn't be a citizen of America being loyal to the sovereign of another nation thereof. But a lot of that was ratified. The 14th Amendment was actually passed to protect Negro rights, but it couldn't just protect black people alone. When other people heard about the 14th Amendment, they began to read it and interpret it in a way that it would benefit them. So because that happened, it was brought to the Supreme Court, because it's more than one way to skin a cat. So, any law can be dissected and put in a way that's beneficial for that person or that people. So I ain't gonna stay on that too long, brothers and sisters. I just want to bring that to the attention of the people. I know the Puff case is coming to an end. Um, Final arguments on that case. I haven't watched a lot of the Puff case. I think some of the evidence is weak in that case. I think brother may get off. Um, I hope that he does get off. He hasn't been gone long. I don't think it'll tarnish his image too much. I do think brother Puff needs to get rehab for his sexual addiction. Usually, when you're addicted to something like sex, every man likes sex. That's a heterosexual male anyway. Speaking from that standpoint, but I think Puff had so much money that his addiction grew enormously simply because he had access to so many different things. But I do pray for brother Puff. I don't wish death on no man. I don't wish harm on no man. I definitely don't wish imprisonment on a person. I don't think Puff deserves prison, but he does need to get a great psychiatrist on that for sure. Um, the things that Puff done, that's that's a deep situation. That's a spiritual thing. That's something that he went through as a kid. I don't think he ever found a cure for that. And because he never found that cure or a way to suppress that energy, I think that pushed him overboard in a lot of ways. But as far as him going to prison, I don't think the Puff should go to prison. I think brother Puff should be counseled in the best way possible. We had I want to also touch on look up Juan Guerrillo. Juan Guerrillo was actually a black conquistador. I heard a person mention something about the Catholic Church. I want to make sure I'm clear. Um, the first Catholic Church was built, the Church of San Hipólito, And Juan Guerrero was a black conquistador, and he cultivated wheat in the 1500s. He was one of the first ones to actually bring wheat to South America, actually. So look up brother Juan Guerrero. We want to make sure we big up all our black brothers and sisters who have done great things. And I ain't got a lot for y'all tonight, man. I just want to touch on a little bit of history. I want to big up the brothers and sisters doing good. I also believe in freeing all our political prisoners. Like I said, free Malachi Z. York, uh, brother Mumia. Brother Mumia is actually getting on up there in age. We need to get brother Mumia out. I know a lot of pardons have been given. I don't know who will get a pardon and who won't, but definitely we need a pardon for brother Malachi Z. York. Dr. Malachi Z. York is about 80 years old, and at 80, I mean, he never did anything violent towards anybody. The only thing he did was tell the truth. I tell people all the time, man, I tell the truth. I try my best to tell the truth. And if something happened to me, man, know I died telling it. But I ain't gonna hold y'all long. Thank you for joining me if you join. And this is an episode of Mission Speaks. Y'all be safe. God bless y'all.